going to do a little bit of riding the coattails of Mental Health Monday. So, for anybody that sees or logged into YouTube, you see that we lost a friend. Some people lost a son, some people lost a dad, a cousin, etc., etc. You're well loved, well respected. Shout out to Rascal's Kids. Um, I'm not doing this to likes and views. I'm not even monetized, so it doesn't even really matter what videos I put up and whatnot. But kind of want to carry on with my story of the darkest times that I went through recently. So, for anybody that's been chilling on YouTube, knows that, follows me, knows that I come from a traumatic past, a very, very traumatic past. And that's almost like a normality back in the day for the reservation to be able to, um, put up with abuse, put up with malnourishment, put up with alcoholism, drug abuse, and what entails with that. Getting my ass kicked when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old. Just getting hit like a grown man. So these are the things I survived, and the things that molded my traumatic experiences to, I believe, that led to my abuse, to my, um, how would you say, led to my alcoholism, led to me being, uh, living the way I did. You know what I mean? It's easy to take that, not really easy to take that path, but when it feels like you're hopeless and you got nothing else going on in your life, you start getting into trouble. And for anybody that's followed me, I shared that story. I share stories like that about growing up dirt poor and whatnot. But anyways, Mental Health Monday. There's something I've seen. The Javier, and a lot of people talking about like how we should share feelings and stuff like that, and it's scary because what I'm about to tell you is I did share a story. Um, so for anybody that's been following me knows that I took being a family member, or took raising a family that wasn't even mine, and took on the stress, the bills, the responsibilities, and everything. I just never had to say so. So that led to a lot of problems in this relationship that just ended about 4 or 5 months ago. I think, yeah, about that time. But I fought hard to keep it. I put up with a lot of stuff. That's how much I cared about my son. I love my son that much to where you put up with abuse, you put up with verbal abuse, you put up with all this different stuff, and I wasn't happy in this relationship. I wasn't. Yeah, I definitely wasn't happy in this relationship. It wasn't. It was very toxic. It was very manipulative. It was very harmful. So it was more bad than there was good. I just didn't have the strength to leave her, because that's how much I cared about my kid. You know, Stepchildren. There's. I grew a bond with Quentin. I grew a bond with her son. Raised him since he was in diapers, and took on that responsibility, loved him, cared for him, called me dad. He called his own dad, his real dad, stepdad. He's like, I'm going to my stepdad's. Never really had no problems with him at all. Never was a gatekeeper. Oh, you got to go through me to be able to see your kid and all this other stuff. But, that was just never, just couldn't show up because that was his love child. The homeboy was married and had a kid with, with, with the woman I was with. And, so that led to you know to her, like I said, it was just very toxic relationship. It was very it was bad. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, it was bad there. I can't find anything good about it other than my son sleeping in the background, and that's the best thing that ever happened, but it gave me insight of what it was to take on responsibilities, put up with being a stepdad. Is that something that I'll ever do again? Probably not. You don't have, you play that role, and you take on that responsibility, you take on that the way I felt. Maybe it was just this relationship, but as a step parent, I took on all this stuff, took on, first day of school, uh, going to the hospital, doctor's visits, you know, going to their, just going to their school functions and taking them to work, and, taking them to my employee functions and stuff like that. And, you grow a bond. So, with the darkest moments of what I'm getting to was but I was at that time, now that the outside looking in, I thought I was super happy. I thought I was doing something right. I thought I was doing something righteous, to where I was being appreciated, but no, I was being manipulated. I was being used mentally, physically, um, financially. I took on a lot of responsibilities and carried a lot of weight on my shoulders. That, you know, and to and the crazy thing is I was never given an ultimatum of, like, hey, you better stop drinking. Like most relationships, when they end, they give you the ultimatum, like, hey, man, better stop drinking, or I'm gonna leave you. You better get a job, or I'm gonna leave you. There was nothing. It was her being on her phone 24/7 and met somebody else, and she dipped out. I mean, but I had no. It was, going from a family which I thought was happy at the time. And, to me, I felt like I was doing something good. I felt like I was doing something right. And I thought, playing this role and taking a weight, carrying this weight and helping my partner, that she would appreciate me. But it was quite the opposite. She became jealous. She became vindictive. She became, a lot of this stuff. So it's I'm feeling proud because, I jump on the live and people, hey, look at Lucky Loco and his family. How's it going? And to be able to take on this responsibility of somebody. Can you turn the volume down on that song, please? Thank you. Well, yeah, so I take on all this responsibility and do all this stuff, and then I felt proud at that moment. I felt really proud. I took pride in that. I stepped up. I did all this as because I was the man. You know what I mean? Going. I thought I was being the man in the house. I thought I was uh, being appreciated. I know everybody else from the outside seeing it, and they're like, man, like Lucky Loco's a great, great husband, great family member. He's taking care of, step kids. He's doing all this, going above and beyond, in which I was. And, to have that partner just up, leave like that, and going from a 4-bedroom house, getting out of the hood, going into a nice neighborhood. We were all working. We were all doing, my son was back home, um, and I had a family. And for it to end, and then for her to dip, and then to take my son in the middle of the morning with no warning, no anything, and just up and leave, block me on social media. I'm sitting in this house by myself. I'm dealing with sobriety. I'm dealing with all this stuff. I'm dealing with pain. And it crossed my mind. It really did. It really, really did. And I think my mom knew, and she called, like, damn, about 4 or 5 times a day, just to see, hey, what do you do? Just simple conversation to keep my mind busy. And I was just like, dang, dude, it was really, really dark, and it was really easy to think about. Like, it was really easy to, um, it seemed the pain, let me see, was just was too much. And I reached out, and you know, the homeboy from, even people on YouTube, I think they seen what was going on, because they follow me on Facebook, reached out, called, see what's going on, and even Iron Bear reached out. Yeah, bro, I see what you're going through and all this other stuff, and you need you to come to California, come live with me, start a new life, and I just didn't want to leave the house. I was almost relapsed. I was like, man, but I did reach out. I did tell people, I was like, hey, man, I'm really this close to, you know, getting it. You know what I mean? So, but the reason why I'm speaking like that is because my son woke up. I didn't know he was going to wake up, so I don't want him worried about anything. But yeah, it's hold on, quick. But yeah, it was man, my bad. But yeah, it was dark as shit, and I was just like, damn. But I prayed, burned sage. I I went to court and filed for custody, and everything. Shit, my bad, homies. And now I got him. I got friends. I got friends that are like family. I got family that cared, and it was a real dark. It was the darkest I ever fucking felt. It was consume me, and it was bad. It was really, really bad. You feel weak, ashamed. You feel horrible, like horrible, horrible. Like it was just, and you don't want to speak up about it because when I did, and I told my partner, it was just like, hey, I know it's ended, but whatever you do, please do not keep my son from me. I was like, this is how I'm feeling. And she weaponized it, and she used it at work, telling people, just telling people that my vulnerability, where it hurt me, and she weaponized it at work. She weaponized it in court, and the crazy thing is, I've never done anything to this woman. She can't even produce a text message of me calling her a B word or arguing with her because it was just never that deep. And for somebody to go above and beyond to be that family man, to end up with nothing. No appreciation, no anything. So it's oh, man. My bad, Chris. I'm just talking about like the darkest times, and it was just recently. So it's just like if I'm going through sharing my mental health, my time about 4 months ago when I almost took that route. If not, just going through it is traumatic to go from a family to nothing, and especially when you didn't do nothing. I didn't take the fried bread back. My bad. I wasn't even expecting to fucking start crying and shit, man. But is yeah, it was really traumatic to go from that and then sharing a story or telling your partner, even an ex partner. You think they would have the humility to be like, okay, I won't keep your son from you. I won't, and the next thing you know, she up and dips and takes him, blocks social media, does all this stuff. So, no, that was my traumatic experience to where I was home alone. I was, went from 7 people living in the house to two. And man, it was just crazy to experience that type of stuff to where it crosses your mind. It does. It truly does. Like, just the pain sometimes is just, being humiliated and feeling like a sucker. And, just it's, appreciate it there. Um, yeah, it was crazy. Like, and then having people like smirk and laugh about, you know, because I carry a demeanor, and the demeanor I carry is through trauma. Like I said, if you see the trauma, I push people away out of my life because I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I don't, I just don't. I don't hang with the crew. I don't, you know what I mean? But to have people smirk and laugh and talk about you, like, oh, he was telling Dread, and and then she twists the whole story of like, oh, he was stalking. We lived together. There's only one way to get to and from work, and it was he's stalking me, he's abusing me. I'm like, there's surveillance in the house, there's cameras in the kitchen, there's cameras upstairs, so we can watch our kids when we're at work. And then appreciate you guys tapping in, Chris, the McChicken Snatch, Machete, Big Bad 408. Man, I miss that San Jose out there, man. But yeah, it was just me sharing the story. I didn't mean to start crying and shit, man. But yeah, that was my darkest shit to where it was to be mocked by it and then weaponized in court, and then, she shared a lot of dark shit too, you know what I mean? And I still haven't, you know, I'm not gonna even gonna say it or repeat it because that's, she shared it with me. At least I have the morals to be like, hey man, this isn't. Oh, Chris, it is getting way better. My bad. I am happy. I am. Look who I got. Say hi, Junior.
Hi.
Blessings. You know what I mean? After all that, um, after all that traumatic experience, I still haven't. I'm out dating. I'm out meeting women. I'm out. Being an anti-slayer. But it's I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking to get into stuff, and it's not because my past experience with her is just it's like getting out of prison. To be honest, where were you? What were you doing? Why are you wearing that? Why you got to put that cologne on? Why you? It was like ching out, homie. So now I'm just out having fun. Things do get better, and that was a lot of pain even to bring up now, and then you do feel um ashamed for being that weak, and you do feel ashamed, and then it's like it's hard to open up. But I know I could call Chris, I know I could call Machete, I know I could call you guys, and I would have no problem if it ever crosses my mind again. You know what I mean? It's I called my mom. I reached out to a couple people and told them. I was like, hey, that one lady, uh, my homegirl, just kind of seeing each other. She's out there in Seattle. She's like, you need to get out of that fucking house, man. You need to. Um, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not even trying to bash her. You know what I mean? But I just don't want anybody to feel less than. Like, even if I'm being attacked, I can't. Junior, did you just fart? A little stinker. But anyways, yeah, things do get better, and and you're right. There's a lot of stuff that she's dealing with, and instead of realizing that she fumbled a good dude at 39, almost 40 years old. I've learned that people. Yeah, for sure, man. And then instead of like being, hey, I fumbled a good dude. He was gonna be my ride or die for life, and that was the whole plan. Like, even through all the mental abuse, physical, yeah, she did hit me, and it didn't hurt, but still, it's not the point. It's not cool, fucking, and financially abused and all this other stuff. And I've never been arrested for abuse. There's surveillance in the house. There's all this stuff over at the, just their kids went to school. I went to California how many times? Went to Canada how many times? I went to work how many times? And to say that you were feared feared me for almost 9 years is just complete. How does Boxer say malarkey? Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's what he says. But yeah, it was instead of being like, hey man, I lost a good dude. I fumbled him. I messed up. I lost my car. I lost all this stuff. And instead of saying, hey man, I messed up, she went the other route and was like, oh, he was abusive. He did this to me. I couldn't do this. You couldn't even clean up. You couldn't even tell, the whole arguments was like, hey man, we just got a new house. Keep it clean. You know, it, I got all the responsibilities, all the stuff. Like I said, all the toxic relationship. I had all the financial burdens, the physical, the emotional. Showing up to school when the kid was over there getting expelled for beating or suspended for beating the shit out of kids at school, and then bringing that abuse to our son, and just juggling all this stuff while you just sat on your phone. With some bum ass dude that can, you know what I mean? You traded all that in for a bouquet of flowers. Like, come on, let's just keep it real. Um, but now that it's over and things are healing, and like you said, it just takes time. You guys have it. You still shit wasn't worth. I appreciate that, man. No, I just felt ashamed, like ashamed to like admit that I was weak, that I needed help, that I was thinking about taking that route. I was thinking about you know, um going to the spirit world, and
Dad,
I wasn't afraid. Huh.
when can we go to the state fair?
State fair's done. We gotta go wait till next year.
I
Um
know, but when?
Next year. Next September. Well, we're gonna be doing a lot more stuff than the state fair. Shit. Got paid today, about to go take him out to gotta go enroll him into the new school, and then hopefully he starts tomorrow. And but yeah, a lot of the stuff it was just like, and then opening up to my to the time at my ex partner, and then she was my ex at that time, opening up and telling her, explaining to her how I'm feeling, and then for her to turn around and go to work and mock me at work, and laughing with their friends at work, and it's still like that. They wrote false statements on me at work saying that I work at the casino. Oh, Tal Rob, what's going on, man? What's up with you? And then it was it's hard. I still go to work every day knowing that there's just a handful of people that I don't think they believe her stories, bro. I've never been I mean, I'd understand if I had to get bonded out of jail after kicking the shit out of her or something. But my size and her size, and I've never got off as a bully. I call people out for fights, and if they don't fight me, and every time I see them, I'm not going to keep antagonizing them. And I called you out for that fade, and you didn't run it. Some people take off running, or we do get run that fade, and I just never got off on being a bully, and hitting women. Growing up in domestic violence, that was never my stilo either. That was just never, or hitting kids. I mean, she was trying to get me to spank her kids. She was like, go in there and spank him. I was like, that ain't, nah, man, that ain't my kid. That's, you know what I mean? It was like, you go spank him. That's your kid. But I'm glad the courts see that I'm not that person. Like, how many times does the father, and there's a lot of fathers out here that unalive themselves over these custody battles because they would put false statements and they said it was like what, like 35% of the time that it's false statements, false accusations, and for years dads weren't able to see, um like, yeah, I'll tell you, just have respect for you, baby Lux. Oh, Machete says Cuvo. That means what's up in Spanish.
Hello.
Say what's up, Machete. Can you say machete?
I don't know.
It's not a swear word. And Tal Rob. Want to say hi, Tal Rob? And Chris Ramezi.
Hey, Chris. Lazy.
And Machete.
And Machete.
Yeah. And Tal Rob.
Tara.
Yeah. Let's see. Then we got Johnny DeFoya. Nobody's going to take care. Yeah, exactly. So it was a dark path. It was a dark moment that really overshadowed like my decisions to where I was about to relapse. I fought hard. I fight hard for my sobriety. I definitely do. And then let's see. 5 of a kind. Hope all is well. Salute to the chat. Man, I appreciate you guys tapping in. It's just I posted a short story on my Instagram and Facebook of me and Josh cooking fry bread together online. A lot of people are affected by this decision by Josh, and you know, and everybody's been respectful. Everybody's been doing a lot of self inventory. I think a lot of us, are feeling the pain. A lot of us are experiencing the pain, and so many people over here in the um, YouTube world and social media are praying for his kids, and because that's one thing about I noticed too. Is that Josh, very lovable father. You can totally tell he loved his kids above and beyond, and like most parents. But yeah, when you're going through it, man, I posted a video of my actual phone number. It's not a G number or anything like that, man. And he says Esso, little mini lucky.
What?
He says Esso.
What is that?
That's like high, almost like a slang. Gotta comb his hair. My hair was looking wild as hell. Josh Singh stunned me. RIP. Just found out now. Browsing through YouTube vids. Yeah, I woke up and I seen Gunner's video on it. I was like, God. And when a lot of this, man, a lot of these bonds and stuff have been made through, a lot of people don't like to admit it, but a lot of us met each other through Gunner's channel. The fight for unity. A lot of us bonded on the lives. A lot of us, you know, met a lot of other people through this YouTube world. And I remember Josh. I think was it Boxer or Flacco introduced him, and I really dug him from the beginning. When the way he talked, the way he carried himself, and it wasn't like he carried himself like a gangster. He's very educated and very respectful, and that lured me to his channel. Lured me to, like, even when he was beefing with Flacco, and everybody knows me and Flacco got a bond too. I just never went in on Josh. I never went in on Gunner or anybody. It was just like, man, it's all YouTube stuff. It's not, that has nothing to do with me. And, just because I watch your content doesn't mean I'm going to load up my YouTube Fredero and go put in some work and start cell banging. I was like, no, but I remember seeing that, and I just remember, you know, they're like, oh, what are you doing over here? On his channel, and trying to remember that woman's name. She was like, she's one of his mediators, and some of them was calling me like, calling me real racist shit on there. And when I said something back, and then like I got blocked, and then I think she thought I was talking smack to Josh, but I can't remember her name. She was a wicked gatekeeper, bro. She was like on Josh's channel. Like, if I guess she would watch. At that time, I think that's when I really started stepping away from Gunner's channel, and yeah, for sure, Gunner is putting lies out there. I totally get it, homie. I don't, you know what I mean. You don't see me cash apping or super chatting no more, bro. You know what I mean, especially to that channel. And when I do have a little bit of Fedia, and which I'm now starting to stack now, um, it was to Josh. Like, I wouldn't even send it through YouTube anymore. I would send it through Cash App, and I'd put for coffee, because he was like, oh, I want some coffee, or you text, and and not that time. That's when we were doing the the fry bread video together, and the crazy thing is, I offered to pay Josh. I was like, hey, Josh, I'll give you some extra money if you start, like, making a commercial. Josh couldn't be bought, bro. He was like, nah, I'm good, homie. I'll just do it for you, bro. Don't even worry about it. And people buy it. Hopefully you sell some stuff. And if you can, throw me a couple bucks. And he would. I'd give him like 20 bucks, send him 10 bucks. It wasn't a whole bunch of money. At the time I was struggling, but, you know, damn, the cancer. My sister got cancer in the car. Dang, I'm sorry to hear about that, Five of a Kind. Friends or family, you choose. Well, we can all do it together. We can do so much more. A real friend is one who walks on the rest of the world. Man, ain't no lie about that, man. Gunner's putting lies out there. His mom posted what happened. His cancer got him. He started having organ failure. His mom posted what happened. Oh, wow. Yeah, my niece. Yeah, my niece got throat cancer. She's on her today. She's on her third chemo therapy. Thank you. I'm praying for we open up. Yeah, prayers, man. Five of Kind Media. But it's my bad for tearing up. I didn't expect all that. I thought I'd be able to share the story without, you know, like I said, you feel vulnerable. You feel ashamed to even be like, hey, man, this is what's going on, and you know. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm not riding the coattails of Josh's thing, but it would be nice to have a mental health Monday to be able to open up, talk. Ever since I met Zero Wilson, the guy from Blood In, Blood Out. He reaches out every once in a while. He sends videos of the stuff that he does. There's a thing out there in Oakland, California called Thug Therapy, and they get together and they do talk about stuff like this. They do share stories of struggle, the men's mental health, and a great men's support team. And if they got something like that, that'd be dope too. But until then, I'll start sharing stories, maybe bring up, just bringing up stuff, talk about sports, mental health. It's not it's not bad to open up and I still will, just because she mocked me, I weaponized it in court, and just doing all these things, and and I got court in a couple days for a paternity test. She says that Junior's not my kid. It's just like, so she's doing anything and everything to hurt hurt me, and not knowing that it's also going to hurt him too. And I'm not even, like I said, I'm not on here bashing her. She's doing, talk about manipulating the system. It's yeah, I just seen it. I seen the text right now. I just don't want to tap on it and drop the live. I'll definitely take a look at that, man. I appreciate you, Chris. And I appreciate the people that do tap in and show support, man. It's not a big channel, and it probably will never be a big channel, and I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with going to work. I'm comfortable with struggling, not relying, you know, relying on YouTube beef, and like I said, mental health. You just never know what somebody's going through and what's going on, man. So it's crazy, man. But yeah, mental health Monday. Like I said, I might be able to do it. My days off are Monday, Tuesday right now, and they change like next month. So on the second they changed, my days off would be Tuesday, Wednesday. Then 2 months they'll change in, and smaller channels are better and get more interaction with your channel better. Man, I appreciate you, Chris. Hell yeah, dude. I'm getting on crusted. Um, um, I hope Gangish is doing all right. And I think I don't know if he went to jail, went to prison. He should be all right if he went, but it sucks that he's got to start over again. Just started, doing his college thing. Um, I see Vegas prison stories. He taps in every once in a while over on Facebook. He'll send me a message here and there. Shout out to that brother. Frank's Positive Vibes. I don't care what he calls it now. Frank's Positive Vibes. Um, these other channels that get out there, especially Krusted. Krusted's dope, bro. You can have the shittiest day ever, and you tap in and you see Krusted drinking a beer, smiling, smoking, listening to music. Everybody's in the chat cheering each other up. What's up? What's going on? Just mental health Mondays. Stuff that makes you happy. Stuff that makes Sunny's dope too, man. Yeah, Sunny's dope. I like Sunny. Um, I think after a while, these bigger channels, when they blow up, they start getting egos and thinking they're celebrities, and I guess they kind of are. You know what I mean? People tap in, and YouTube celebrities, and you know, and like I said, some people, when you open, man, you got to be one strong motherfucker mentally, because man, you got people. If you're out here lying and woofing and doing stuff, man. And since the rest of the channels are sellouts, yeah, I believe so too. And if you were out here woofing and faking the funk, and Josh caught wind of it, Dunskies. Josh will pull your paperwork, pull when you got suspended at school. He'll pull when you got all these different things going on, man. Josh was the one. Josh was the one that would come at you. Well, look, I'm gonna have to get up. I drank my coffee. I know it's a little bit later. I work the late shift, so I gotta get up and take my son, enroll him in school, and get him started. And I don't know, maybe do you want to go see a movie tonight?
Yeah, which one?
I don't know. We'll go drop by, look online, see what movies are out there.
Okay.
Anti milk. That's a good one. That's a chocolate milk from the tap. You already know, man. I've got a few aunties, bro. A few aunties on the team, and like I said, it's the single life. I mean, yeah, that was the darkest time, man. Let me tell you about. Now, I wake up every day with him, Ha Junior. We hang out. That's my best friend. You know, if you ever feel that darkest moment come getting the best of you, man, you reach out to people. I reached out to people, like even, her making Facebook posts about my situation and, mocking me and like someone said, it's the smallest person. It's if you want to go ahead and kick me while I'm down, how about it? For somebody, whoever her next is, be careful because she just doesn't care. Does I went above and beyond and did everything I could, and it was just never enough. I just can't take and take and take and take. There's those juices in the cupboard. Remember, I bought you a whole box of juice. Those grenade ones. Go ahead and go grab them, and then go wet your hair, and I'm gonna comb it. But these, yeah, the darkest moments are starting to, you want to do all that, and I'm over here being a great dad. I'm providing. I'm doing everything I can for him, and we'll continue. You know what I mean? It's
It's not the bomb, it's the barrels.
all the barrels. Okay, go grab the barrel juice then. Yeah, man. It's darkest moment. It's temporary. My mom, she didn't give up. She would call like 4 or 5 times a day, Facebook Messenger, on the phone. What are you doing? You need to go out, go work, go lift some weights, and go hang out with people. Quit being in that house all by yourself. It's like you like that brand new house. It's meant for a family. It's not meant for you, just for you. You need to move out. And then I did the lease. The lease was up last month. Moved out and got a new crib, more affordable one. And
I can't open the box stuff. It's hard to open it. That's why the corners are dented.
do down others. Need to get in shape. Hell yeah, dude. I walk, the lowest I walk at work is about maybe 5 miles. I walk 7+ miles a day at work. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Now that I got more time, I'm not always jumping on the bus. I'm not or jumping on the food truck. Um, Almost psyched myself up yesterday for some machina. I was about to see, man, see how many burpees I can do. Oh man, I said, my fat ass. I'm losing weight though, but yeah, it is better for the mental health too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what my mom was saying. She was like, "Man, go out, go lift some weights, go to a meeting, go out there, meet some new people, um, give that girl a chance that's been inboxing you, and she knows, you know." I tell her, be like, "Yeah, this girl's been trying to get at me." And there's women I'm talking to, and but not ready for all the relationship. Just chill and hang out. If they want to do that, that's cool. But yeah, you're totally right. The Planet Fitness is right around the corner from here, so I was thinking about that once before I take off to work. That's what I was doing when I was with Drea. But I was always on the go. I was always hustling. I was always catering. I was always jumping on the food truck. I was always doing everything I could to come up with that rent money because I only make so much money at my 9 to 5, and it's not the best paying job, but it's something. It's a guaranteed what 30 racks a year. No, I ain't turning that away. I got like the easiest job. I get along with my supervisor. I'm my own business when it comes to my coworkers. I don't really talk to them. Um, it's yeah, just building goals and doing the damn thing, man. And tax season coming up, take some money. Uh, a 2 bedroom trailer home for like 15, 20. I was like, man, that ain't shit. I'll be able to come up with that quick. So, I mean, it is, but to me, mentally, I have to prepare myself like that. I have to, man, that ain't shit. So, you're right. Maybe that's what I start doing, heading to the gym. Be like, man, let's get it cracking. Let's get it going. Turn my fucking breast into chest. And no matter how much, like, even in prison, when I, no matter for years and years worked out, I could never get rid of my fry bread belly. I get that anti-fit. Oh man, they be enjoying that stuff too, trying to tie a motherfucker down right away. You're like, yeah, we together? Nope, 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 nope. So sorry. But I'm gonna go ahead and start getting ready. I'm gonna get my son ready. Junior, go brush your hair, or go wet your hair so I can comb it. You got your socks and everything? No.
Okay.
Hurry up. Let's get ready to go. We're gonna go drop off the forms at the school, and this is my blessings. This is my Junior. You're my best friend. Uh, yeah. So it's I'm gonna go ahead and get everything going, man. I appreciate you guys. Much love and respect. My bad for tearing up and sharing the story about my mental health situation. It's still, the wounds are still there. And they're always there. I think they'll always be there. It's I've been putting up with traumatic experiences my whole life, and it's at these end of times, I just want to live happy and do the best I can and live in a normal society, man. Somewhat normal. I got friends that are family. I got friends on YouTube I can reach out to, on Instagram, Crystal May Z, Five of Kind Media. The chicken. What was his name? Chicken. Let's see. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Five of Kind, Chris. The chicken snacker. I think it was called Machete. Tal Rob. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys have yourself a great day. I'm gonna go ahead and head out and then start getting this life together. Want to go see a movie then?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go see a movie. All right, peace out, you guys. Have a good one.